Please welcome Denise Christie, Chief Marketing Officer, Marsh & McLennan Agency, and Michigan Women Forward Board Chair.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Good afternoon. Well, thanks for joining us for the Michigan Women Forward Women Up and Celebrate Women of Achievement and Courage virtual event. That's a mouthful. But hey, today is our 4th annual Women Up and Celebrate, and we're in partnership, again, with the wonderful Kalamazoo, Michigan chapter of the Lynx Incorporated. Thank you so much for being here today. My name is Denise Christie, and I am proud to be the chair of Michigan Women Forward, the board of directors. Today, we honor 3 remarkable women, our 2020 Women of Achievement and Courage honorees, Cathy Varigard, Denise Crawford, and Judy Jolliffe. They are now part of a prestigious group of 153 women who've been honored throughout the state. And you're going to hear from each of them very soon. So right now, you're watching our 2nd live stream virtual event. Now, our first virtual event back in June was so successful that we decided to do it again. That's right, we're filming this live right now from the Radisson Hotel in Kalamazoo. Huh? Pretty great. We've got our honorees and some team members here with us in the room, and hopefully many of you in groups getting together and watching and sharing this event with us virtually. Now, if you've got a Facebook account, leave a comment to let us know where you are watching from, and leave a congratulatory note to one of our honorees if you'd like. They'd love to hear from you. We've also set up a guest book, which is linked at the top of the post, and so we know who is stopping by to watch, and share a message from the guest book so that we can share it with our honorees today. For those of you who are just being introduced to the Michigan Women Forward, again, through this virtual event, we welcome you. We'd love to keep in touch and get to know you better. And for those who have been coming to these events and attending these events over the years and supporting MWF for over the very many years that we've been around, I wish you were here today so I could give you all a big hug. On behalf of the team, we're sending nothing but love to each and all of you. Regardless of whether we have your contact information or not, though, we'd ask you to please sign the guest book. And you've got a rain check for that hug. Now, even though our event is virtual today, our sponsors have really stepped up and continued the support of MWF. These sponsors provide us with the financial resources that allow us to do all this important work all year long. Now, you're going to find a list of our sponsors across the state on our website. And I think when you logged on, they were scrolling across the screen as well. And you'll find this is an impressive group. But more importantly, this is your guide to Michigan companies who have invested in women and their success. So don't forget to patronize these businesses and mention MWF when you do. Hosting our events virtually, like we're doing today, is just one of the many ways Michigan Women Forward has pivoted as a result of this ongoing pandemic. Now, I'm sure all of you can relate with that, as I know for me and for everyone else, we've all had to make significant adjustments to our plans this year. But I also think that women have been the true masters of pivoting, right? I mean, we've been doing this all along, but today we're even more skillful at it. We are full-time teachers, we're caregivers and businesswomen, and for many of us, we're doing it all at the same time. I like to say we're kind of the Swiss Army knives of our families. In reality, though, however, this crisis has unveiled many gender inequities that still exist. MWF has witnessed firsthand how COVID-related business closures and layoffs have been a lot harder on women, and especially women of color. The New York Times has referred to it as a she session. We've also heard from many women entrepreneurs that they have had a harder time finding relief funding than their male counterparts. Amid these challenges for women right now across Michigan, MWF is committed to moving forward as our name demands. Our team is rising to meet these challenges in exciting ways, and we believe that our next steps will be crucial in deciding what our economy will look like as we emerge from this pandemic. We know one thing for certain. The way we reach gender equity in Michigan is through economic empowerment of women. Michigan Women Forward has laid the groundwork for the past several years on creating a more inclusive economy for women and minorities. We've built a robust microloan program and provided hundreds of women with technical support, pitch competitions, coaching, mentorship, and networking opportunities. But now, we're going to take that a step further. In this time of crisis and uncertainty, Michigan Women Forward is expanding this effort by applying to become a CDFI, or for those of you who are not familiar with it, that stands for a Community Development Financial Institution. What this really means is that we can expand our lending efforts and reach more women across the state, including right here in Kalamazoo. We're hoping that within the next 5 years, we will be able to support over 1,000 new women-owned businesses, with over 60% of those businesses owned by women of color. This is a bold goal, but we're an unstoppable team, especially with all of you on our side. We're confident that this is the best way forward for truly creating an inclusive economy. We need you, all of you, to stand with us now more than ever. A great example of the good that can come when we band together as women and a few good men is the relief effort we've launched back in June. As response to COVID-19, we launched the Michigan Entrepreneur Resilience Fund in partnership with the MEDC, SBA, Consumers Energy Foundation, and many others. We raised $1.5 million. Think about that, in a very short period of time. We raised $1.5 million to provide grants and microloans to businesses in Michigan impacted by the crisis. I am so proud to report that as a result of this initiative, we have safely reopened 175 businesses in Michigan. I think that's worthy of some applause. Many of those businesses were right here in Southwest Michigan, so again, fabulous work. So you kind of get where I'm going, right? When we work as a team, we are truly unstoppable. Now, I don't want you to just hear it from me. I want you to hear directly from a few of the Kalamazoo entrepreneurs. And so let's watch them. A little quick update so we can hear from them.
My name is Melisha Polano, and I'm the creator of Mama Lilu Cold Brew. Since 2014, I've been making cold brew coffee in Kalamazoo, Michigan.
My name is Bridget Blau, and I own the Organic Gypsy, which is a food truck, catering company, and meal delivery service. And we are located in the Kalamazoo area.
My name is Lana Harden. I am the founder of Live Your Song, LLC.
The income from our food truck and our coffee bar represents about 70% of our revenue every year. So for us, no public events this year and very, very limited catering was totally catastrophic to our financial situation as a business. We lost about 70% of our revenue basically since COVID.
The first month that schools were off, I have a child who was in first grade, and I'm a single mother, which means she was with me all the time.
We actually received one of our largest contracts this year when the school year began in 2020. And with COVID-19, all of that was halted when schools were shut down. And so we really didn't know what we were going to do to move forward.
We're basically trying to pivot our whole business model from primarily a food truck with a couple side gigs in the off season to pivot full on to the meal delivery service.
We're able now to pivot our business, to purchase equipment, and to set ourselves up remotely, as well as make sure that we're able to automate our online marketing and sales.
Since I just actually this week came out with a new line of beans. They're exciting. So the first one actually is called Quarren Queen. And it's cute. You should love it because it's cute. You can either pivot till you get dizzy and fall down, or pivot till you twirl and make it something. And so I'm always in a constant state of evolution, which means my business is always in a constant state of evolution.
I personally know that without the help of this fund, I'm not quite sure that I would have been able to move my business forward.
There's no doubt in my mind that we would be out of business without supplemental funding during this time of COVID. And I know a large part of us staying in business is from sources like Michigan Women Forward.
It's taken the pressure off of worrying about rent and the business bills, for sure. And so pressure taken off is a good thing.
Like, I can speak from my experience in my industry that it is super helpful to have Michigan Women Forward that cares and is there to support specifically women and minorities.
We just want to say a huge thank you. Live Your Song is forever grateful for support from the generous donors and organizations that have rallied behind us as small business owners to show us that our businesses are valuable and that we matter and that we can still thrive even in a post-COVID environment. So thank you again.
Well, I want to reiterate what Lana said in the video. Thank you. Thank you to all of our donors who have shown that small businesses like hers are valuable, that they do matter, and that they can still thrive even in a post-COVID environment. Small businesses like hers can continue to move forward because of the power, the support, the care, and the love of people like you. Now, I've talked today about our entrepreneurship programs at MWF, which are certainly important. However, the real reason we are here today is to talk about our programs that invest in our unstoppable generation of girls, who we call You Go Girls for short. MWF wants to make certain that girls in the next generation far surpass our accomplishments and lead the fight for social justice. These are our future board of directors of MWF. They are the future leaders that we'll be honoring in years to come. But in order to do this, we need your support, and we like to do this by hosting summer camps and extracurricular programs for girls in middle and high school. And this summer, we did just that, but we did it virtually, which was truly a great success. So we really appreciate your support and hope you'll continue to support these girls. Over the past 5 years, we've had the privilege of working with the Kalamazoo, Michigan chapter of the Links Incorporated to deliver our You Go Girls for Change program to the girls of Kalamazoo and Battle Creek. To our partners at the Links, thank you for the extraordinary job of delivering these powerful lessons on leadership, social responsibility, entrepreneurship, and preparation for a college career, and how girls can make a meaningful impact in this community. We've asked Vivica Fairbanks Henderson, Vice President, Global Engineering at Ecolab and President of the Kalamazoo Links, Inc., to share a bit more about this program. So she's actually joining us from home in Kalamazoo. Well, welcome, Vivica. Are you here?
Thank you for that introduction, Denise, and hello, everyone. My name is Vivica Fairbanks Henderson, and I am president of the Kalamazoo, Michigan chapter of the Links Incorporated, coming to you virtually from my home in Kalamazoo. The Kalamazoo, Michigan chapter of the Links Incorporated is a group of 26 extraordinary women committed to enriching, sustaining, and ensuring the culture and economic survival of African Americans and other persons of African ancestry. Today, I am proud to say that we will honor one of the members of our chapter and a dear friend of mine, Denise Crawford. Denise has an amazing passion and commitment to make a difference in the community for underserved populations as CEO of the Kalamazoo Family Health Center. The Kalamazoo, Michigan chapter of the Links Incorporated and Michigan Women Forward were so wise 5 years ago when we joined forces to address challenges facing girls and women. Our partnership has provided leadership development opportunities for high school girls and set them on paths for academic readiness, financial literacy, health awareness, and most importantly, teaching them to know their actions can impact change in our communities. You Go Girls for Change is designed to assist high school girls with decision-making skills and to understand social change as it relates to community problems facing women and girls. You Go Girls for Change also has an overarching focus on empowerment and leadership. In addition to giving girls time to work on a social change project, our meetings include discussions, activities, and guest speakers on a variety of topics that help members develop and strengthen 21st century skills, their network, and their resilience. Guest speaking topics have included diversity and gender stereotypes, problem solving and decision making, entrepreneurship, leadership, teamwork and collaboration, college preparation and career readiness, social and emotional skills. And on top of it all, the program has really enhanced the young ladies' self-esteem and self-awareness. And self-esteem and confidence are critically important for all young women in our community. Don't just take my word for it. I want to introduce you to a couple of the girls who are participants in our You Go Girls program. Meet Lily and Sierra.
My name is Sierra Ward. I am a current senior at Lloyd Norris High School located in Kalamazoo, Michigan. I'm really excited to start my senior year.
I'm Lily. I'm currently homeschooled, and I would be in my gap year, so I graduated this year.
So being a part of the You Go Girls program, I've learned that I have a really big passion for the medical field. I think being around a lot of doctors and people in the medical field, I learned that I have a huge passion for that, and it was really nice to see women who look like me in that field become successful. So I think that they really helped lead me as far as my career choice.
My favorite part of the program is the art. Whenever we have an art event, it's my favorite. We went to the KIA and we had our photos processed, which was really awesome in the dark room. I had never been in the dark room, so that was like a really awesome experience to see the other side of the KAA.
My favorite part about the program was really just meeting with the women. There were just so many different women, and they were all so successful, whether they had their own business or they were a judge or they were a doctor. They just made it really real for you.
I think it's rare to be able to be surrounded by people with such different opinions on things or such different careers and get to learn from them, every single one of them, and just in one central place. Like, that is just an amazing opportunity that I'm really glad that I got to have.
Thank you for everybody watching and tuning into this live today. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for supporting the program. It means a lot to me and my peers and everyone who's going to take the program and everyone who has taken the program. So thank you.
Wow, that was impressive, Sierra and Lily. Thanks, Vivica, for bringing that to us. So now I'm going to shift our conversation, or actually I'm going to shift the podium over to our own Carolyn Cassin, the president and CEO of Michigan Women Forward. Now, talk about unstoppable. Carolyn has led this organization to a new level of impact, and is continuing to just build this incredible team. She's building that team for the future that's going to set the course for success for years to come for MWF. And it's just been an honor to serve as her chair. And more importantly, she's really become a great friend to all of us here in Michigan. Carolyn Cassin.
Thank you. Phew, I'm out of breath. I just returned from a virtual global conference, which I was watching upstairs and helping to moderate. Isn't technology wonderful? Don't we live in an incredible world order now? Where you can talk with 400 women from around the globe. Actually, I knew it would be okay with you here in Kalamazoo if I was just a few minutes late, because I was introducing one of our own, someone from the Battle Creek, Kalamazoo area, Lejeune Montgomery Tabron. If you remember, she was a past 2018 Kalamazoo honoree, and she was last year's co-chair. She was the keynote speaker for the International Women's Forum, and I was so proud to be able to tell her about this community, about the impact she's having, and about everything that she does for all of us. So anyway, that was a great way, and thank you, Denise, for taking my what I would usually like to talk to you about. So speaking of co-chairs, I would like to thank this year's co-chairs for this event. Lin Shen Zhang, who you're going to hear from in a few minutes, and the Honorable Carolyn Williams. Fantastic. They did a great job. You know, before COVID, I used to think that a virtual event wasn't nearly all that much work. But what we've learned is that it's just as much work as an in-person event. And we are so grateful for your efforts to make this a success. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I know you heard earlier from Denise about MWF and how we've pivoted and our entrepreneurial programs and the exciting direction that we're headed. But I do want to talk to you about one more thing that we do and that we're very proud of. And that's our Michigan Women's Historical Center and Hall of Fame. We call it Her Story. This is an especially important year, as you know, for women's history, as we celebrate the 100th anniversary of the ratification of the 19th Amendment, which did guarantee many, but certainly not all women, the right to vote. And within the past week, our team has also spent a lot of time celebrating and reflecting on the life and legacy of Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg and her landmark work to end gender discrimination. Our work at Michigan Women Forward is not yet complete, as you know. Gender inequality still exists, which is why we need to continue to ask for your support and your involvement in this important organization. Understanding and celebrating women's history is the heart of making progress towards gender equality. I am so proud of our historical programs at MWF. These are the programs that shine a light and that honor and celebrate important Michigan women who are making a contribution. I want to invite all of you to learn more about what we are doing to preserve her story and to celebrate important women at our Michigan Women's Hall of Fame event. It's taking place on October 15th. At this event, we are going to induct 6 more women into the Michigan Women's Hall of Fame. Nadja Bazzi, Dr. Glenda Price, Dorothy Zender, Martha Teichner, Atlas Ruth Westbrook, and Liz Jackson. Go to our website, miwf.org, and learn more about the event. And please, please tune in. It's a virtual event, so we know you can all be there. And now, the reason for us gathering today, let's celebrate some women who are changing the world right here in Kalamazoo. The Kalamazoo Area Women of Achievement and Courage Awards. I have the pleasure of introducing Lynn Chen Zhang. She is the partner and chief executive officer of the Zhang Financial. Next year, Lynn, when we have this global conference, I'm going to ask you to speak because Lejeune was last year's chair, and so I guess it's your turn next year. But I promise we're not going to have it on the same day. Lynn was a 2019 honoree, and we are so thankful that she was willing to jump in again and chair this event. So now you know what's in store for you ladies who are honorees for this year. Lynn is a pillar in this community and throughout the state. She dedicates a tremendous amount of her personal time and her resources to helping the community of nonprofit organizations in this area. Lynn, all in Kalamazoo thanks you for your leadership, and at MWF, we thank you for your commitment to women.
Thank you, Carolyn. And I am greatly honored to be the co-chair for this great event. When Judy asked me to co-chair the event, I'm completely on board because I firmly believe in the mission of the Michigan Woman Forward. And before I go any further, I would like to thank my co-chair, another co-chair, Honorable Judge Carolyn Williams, and I would like to thank the works of the committee members in preparing for this great event. Thank you. So now, this year's event is a little bit different than last year's. We're not in the same room, but I think in some terms it is actually better because what's important is we are still here together to share the mission of the Michigan Woman Forward and to celebrate the accomplishments of 3 remarkable women. I have been involved with Michigan Women Forward for quite a few years. And this year, I'm proud to announce that my firm, Zen Financial, is going to match up to $10,000 for today's donation to the event. Thank you. Well, you know how that works. When you donate $5, $10, $1,000, it is going to be doubled. Well, as a finance people, I know we all excited about getting doubled our investments. And it is an investment. It is an investment for our women, for our women's future. So as Zen Financial, we are committed and we take pride in our commitment to philanthropy, and we will continue to do our best to enrich the lives in our community. And I encourage you to join us for this great mission of Michigan Women Forward. As Carolyn and Denise mentioned, this mission is right now even more critical than ever. I read an article this morning, actually, from Bloomberg. Some economists has categorized this period as the recession of women because the pandemic and the economy effect of it is wiping out our progress in the past few decades to reduce the difference of the wage gap and economy gap between genders. So more than ever, we need your help. Pandemic is temporary, but we need to do our work so that it does not leave a permanent scar in our gender difference. So please join us. Now, I think we will see on the screen how that works. If you give $1, we will match $1. And of course, I like bigger checks, but don't you ever think that your $1 is any less significant than the $10,000 that Zen Financial is providing, because your $1 will make a difference and will work effectively to accomplish our mission. Without further ado, it is my absolute honor to introduce our first honoree recipient of this year's award, Cathy Varigard. As confident as I am thinking that I can do anything, I know there are jobs in this world that I just cannot do. And Cathy's job is one of them. She is the director of Western Michigan University's athletic, and I have many of her accomplishments written here. I cannot remember, so this is the part I need the script. She has received numerous awards throughout her career. Just to name a few, she was named a Game Changer Women in Sports Business by Street and Smith's Sports Business Journal. She also has been bestowed the General F. Ford Sportsman of the Year Award, presented by the Michigan Sports Hall of Fame, the Lifetime Woman of Achievement Award, presented by the YWCA of Kalamazoo, the Under Armour Award from the National Association of Collegiate Directors of Athletics. Heavily involved in her profession, she assumed the chair position of the NCAA Olympic Sports Liaison Committee in 2001, a position which she held for 2 years. She represented the WMU as a member of the NCAA Championships Cabinet and NCAA Football Bowl Celebration Committee, and has also served on NCAA Diversity and Inclusion Committee. Cathy will serve on a newly formed state task force designed to bring together local and national leaders to develop strategies that support and promote opportunities in Michigan for girls and women in sports. Let's look at the video.
Cathy levels the playing field for women by hiring women in positions that typically in the athletic world are filled by males, typically. For instance, our athletic trainer for the football team is female, And our last two sports information directors for football have both been female.
I think she holds an example for other women, girls and women. You too can do this. You can aspire.
Her success is a role model for the young women that you see, the Allison that I took, my Ainsley next door that I take, and Cathy spends time with them and talks about why this is important and what this game is and what part the coach plays and how much time it takes.
And she's done two remarkable things. One, she has run this program to athletic success. Two, she's done it with integrity, and so there's been no major violations at all of NCAA rules. And then three, she has continually opened the door for others to follow, whether that be in the coaching ranks, whether that be in the administrative ranks, whether that be mentoring women at other institutions. She is connected and known clean across the country for her success, her integrity, and her willingness to help others and lift them up too.
I believe that Cathy empowers women by being an incredible role model, a mentor. She also is an incredible listener. She has this ability to listen and then ask questions that really get you thinking. So I've especially felt empowered by her, and I know those things have meant a lot to me.
You know, Cathy is so knowledgeable, and she has been in this game for so long that she knows the rules, and she knows how to lead people because she takes the time to spend with them to show them what's important and what's not important.
Cathy, this reward is a long time in coming, and you're very, very well deserved of it. I love it that you're also a woman of achievement at the YWCA, and we see each other there, and you just keep on chugging along.
Cathy, I just want to thank you for everything that you've done for me. You've just been an incredible mentor and friend, and I don't know how to ever thank you for all that you've done for me, both personally and in my career as a gymnastics coach. Thank you so much.
Cathy, I just want to congratulate you and let you know how incredibly proud you have made this institution and what a major impact you have made at Western, in Kalamazoo, and across the country for women, as well as athletes.
You've been my best friend since junior high, and that is the honest to God truth. They don't call it junior high anymore. They call it middle school, I think. And I don't know what I would have done without you for the last several years. You've been my rock. Thanks, Cap.
Ladies and gentlemen, now let's welcome my friend Cathy Varigard.
Thank you, Lynn. This is such an honor to actually be introduced by you two. You certainly are a tremendous role model in our community. I know that there are many young women that you hire every single day, lots of Bronco grads, that continue to have the opportunity to also be mentored by you. So this is a true honor to be here today. And those of you that got a chance to listen to a few of my friends there, I really tried to do a good job of making sure we included an individual like Betty Ungley, who was like the first mayor of Kalamazoo, and literally she and I had back surgery together and did rehab in the Y pool, and she kicked my butt every day, even though she was a little bit older than I am. So, and certainly Dr. Montgomery is an unbelievable individual to work with every day at Western Michigan, and our coaching was where I started. And then we know what we can feel about your best friend and what she does and is with you. So what I really want to be able to do is to talk to you just for a few minutes about me, my level of leadership, and what I really think about leadership as a woman. I kind of start out every morning thinking about I am leading my own ship. And it starts back to when your foundation of growing up, all the way to the point of having an unbelievable family. I can't thank my parents enough for the opportunities that they were able to provide me and my family. I am the middle daughter, so 3 girls my dad was so blessed to have. And in that time, I always felt a little guilty that he didn't have a son. So I was the one who wanted to do sports. And believe it or not, back in those days, I was born before Title IX. And we didn't have a lot of opportunities. So I was always the one that wanted to play softball, baseball, couldn't, but my dad was the challenge of me playing softball in the backyard and continued to always tell me to quit throwing like a girl. And so I do think today, even though I think that was a little hard for him to figure out, that's part of my inspiration today, is I grew up with the thought of, well, why should I be throwing like a girl? There shouldn't be any difference. So certainly I can't and wouldn't be where I am without all of their support. The other thing that's really unique for me is that born and raised here in Kalamazoo, married my high school sweetheart. We both have had the opportunity to grow up in the Kalamazoo public school system. Very proud to see our young lady from Loynorks High School. And I'm very proud, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention that another dear friend who's not with us anymore, but Judd Jenselan, was an individual who really ordered desegregation in our community in Kalamazoo, which was the best thing that ever could have happened to my husband and I as we grew up in a diverse, inclusive environment. And to this day, Rick and I have put together about 80 years in education in our community. And to us, education is everything. We have also been blessed with the son, Brad, and you ought to try being the husband and the son of a female athletic director. There may sometimes be some challenges there and some perks there, but other times when Rick would be invited to the wives' luncheons as we went to events, because believe it or not, I still am unique in Division I athletics of being a woman and working with intercollegiate athletics. So my son, Brad, just means the world to us. It's been wonderful to raise a son who you turn around and hear talk about opportunities for women. And I know that his support with Hannah on his side is awesome with that too. So we have really lived here, worked here. I've worked at the university for 40 years. We call this our communiversity. Really, the community, the university, the opportunities for women have obviously been a huge part of what I do every day. First woman, obviously, as the director of athletics at Western, have done that for 20 years. Quick, fun little story. President Hennica, who was our president at that time, he actually had the opportunity when we were changing athletic directors, invited me to his office, offered me the job, and said I had 2 hours to take the job, which I was like, 2 hours? What's the deal with that? Well, for those of you that know Carol Hennica in our community, his wife, she basically told him that he screwed it up the last time and he better hire Cathy before he comes home for dinner tonight, or he won't be eating dinner. So that's why I had my 2-hour limit, and thank you to Carol for actually had a big impact on that during those days too. So as I was really reflecting upon obviously the very sad news that we had this past week with Ruth Bader Ginsburg passing away, it started making me think about, I watched many of her documentaries, and it took me to, one of her comments was a little bit how my life has been. I started as a coach, I moved into administration, I had an opportunity to be one of the first women, there were only 7 women at the time. I've done that for 20 years now, and actually there are only 12 women that are directors of athletics at institutions of our size. So obviously we still have a lot of work to do. And when I heard her talk about the fact that when she was out of college, obviously much more qualified than many men at that time, she talked about Sandra Day O'Connor and talking about the fact that both of them were first of the class, should have had all the opportunities in the world to basically move forward in the legal world, and had to find other ways of doing it. And then she kind of sat back and thought about it and said, yes, but boy, we've found another way of our path that we may not have known we were going to have, but here we are now both on the Supreme Court. So I do feel a little bit, not like I'm on the Supreme Court by any means, but that path has been very different. I didn't grow up thinking that I could be a director of athletics. There weren't any women there. I didn't even really know what one was. So the opportunities of the doors opening for me and the opportunities for all the women of the past that have made that possible, I am eternally grateful to. I love my job, the passion that I have every day to make a difference in the lives of students and for those that will be able to go on. We recruit student athletes, we educate them, we graduate them, and the opportunities of moving people into the world and being able to play a sport that they love is really my passion. So I am honored to have this opportunity to accept this award today. Thank you very much to the Michigan Women's Foundation for this opportunity. And I would be remiss if I didn't leave with a little go girls, because I do that all the time. And we're talking about whether they're little ones coming out all the way to the ones that we continue to do, and all of us. We have to continue to fight for equity. Equity is a priority that needs to be continued, that needs to be pursued, that needs passion, and we need to keep those doors open and make sure that we are making a difference in the world around us. Thank you very much.
You would love, this is my favorite award. Look at the pink color.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Cathy. This is really a very difficult year for college sports. We're playing, we're not playing, we're playing again, we're not playing again. So it's very difficult and frustrating, and Cathy has navigated this ship very, very well. So again, a round of applause for Cathy. It is now my honor to welcome Dr. Cathy Jackson. Cathy is a pediatrician and is passionate about partnering with parents and the guardians to address the physical and mental well-being of newborns, children, and adolescents. She has had the privilege to do so for the past 14 years at the Family Health Center in Kalamazoo. Welcome.
Thank you, Lynn, and good afternoon. My name is Dr. Cathy Jackson. Today, it is my absolute privilege to introduce one of the recipients of the 2020 Women of Achievement and Courage Award, my dear friend, Denise Crawford. If you know Denise, the president and CEO of the Family Health Center, words such as relentless, creative, passionate undoubtedly come to mind. Denise also has the uncanny ability to assess the health needs of the community and then effectively lead teams to execute events that address these such needs. This is done in a way that people's lives are changed. Let me briefly share an example of such an event. Affordable dental care, especially for the underserved or uninsured, is very difficult for them to come by, as many of you are aware. Denise noted this disparity in the community, collaborated with community organizations, and led a team establishing a free dental day of service in Kalamazoo County at the Family Health Center, with plans for this to be annual. I think I need to say that again, a free dental day of service in Kalamazoo County. Yes. This was an unprecedented event of its size and caliber, and lives were definitely changed that day. Keep in mind, this was done while leading the organization in its daily mission of ensuring that all members of the community have access to quality, comprehensive, patient-centered health care. Denise is not only an achiever, but she is also courageous. She speaks up for what is right and for those whose voice is not often heard. Denise is a wife, mother, sister, daughter, and a dear friend to many. It is through these relationships that other qualities of caring, compassion, and dependability are shown. She is truly a trailblazer in the healthcare industry. Congratulations for a job well done, Denise. Let's take a look at this video.
So when I think of how Denise empowers women, I think of, again, her giving women the opportunity to shine. So she does this first by being an example, because we know, especially in disadvantaged groups, if you don't see anybody in that position, you never think that you can do this. So this definitely has been a plus for her to be able to reach young women, as well as she is a leader and a servant in her role.
In 2019, there were 68 African American leaders for healthcare industries. And of that, 29% were women, and of that, only 9% were women of color. So that just gives you some idea of how amazing and how much of a trailblazer Denise is. And in this role, she's from Kalamazoo. This is her home. And she has committed to the community and to the residents in Kalamazoo to really make a difference in their health care and in services.
Whenever there's a doubt if you can do something or not, then she's definitely there to tell you to just be fearless and move past it and aim for the stars. There's nothing that we cannot achieve if we put our hard work to it. And she's definitely a hard worker, so she's always pushing us in that direction.
So Denise, you're a rock star in my book, and I'm going to keep up the fight with you for helping to level the ground for health inequalities in Kalamazoo County. I truly count it a privilege and an honor to be on your team, because I know what you are fighting for and what you represent. Congratulations, and you are very deserving of this great award and achievement.
Whenever you make it to those top positions there, I'm very positive that there were and probably still are obstacles and barriers and things to overcome and to achieve. And Denise does that with a very positive attitude. She's a problem solver, she's a critical thinker, and she will find a solution. If there's a solution, she will find a solution. And if there's not a solution, she will create one. So basically for Denise, the sky is the limit.
I'm so happy to be able to participate in this video moment to congratulate you for this well-deserved honor. You are a role model, you're an inspiration, you're a leader, you're an advocate, and you are my sister. I love you, and I just can't thank you enough, to actually be considered one of your colleagues and as well as a friend. So congratulations, you are a woman of power, a woman of courage, a woman of compassion, and just so many things. So congratulations.
On behalf of Michigan Women Forward and the Kalamazoo, Michigan chapter of the Links Incorporated, I'm truly excited to present this award to you, Denise, my friend, in recognition of your tireless fight for the community.
Wow, thank you. Thank you to everyone, to my Link sisters, to my wonderful family, my Family Health Center family, and to all of you. I sincerely appreciate this, and we're going to do this together and get through this whole piece. Wow. Thank you, Dr. Jackson. And where she's being extremely humble, Cathy has been with me since I started at the Family Health Center 11 years ago. Through that time, she told me she would stay by my side, and she has been right there taking care of the babies every step of the way. So I personally honor and thank her as well. So thank you all for investing in women and their lives. It is truly a great honor to be asked to share with you today. I am happy we can gather, even virtually, to celebrate how far we've come, and I'd also like to talk a little bit about the important opportunities we have to focus and invest in one another. Our mission at the Family Health Center is to serve all members of the community, regardless of their ability to pay. We work daily to focus on each patient as an individual and to invest in the well-being of people who otherwise may not have access to quality health care. Excuse me. One of the things we value most is working ahead of the curve to assist our patients in partnering in their own health to help prevent diseases and promote wellness. It's interesting because as I was reflecting on my words to share with you today, I realized that our mission at the Family Health Center is strikingly similar to the arc of my life. People took the time to invest in me with unwavering focus to help and develop the tools I needed to create my own path to success and well-being. People took the time to mentor, support, and educate me so that I could create my own path forward. We have the opportunity today to focus and invest in another person's life, and that can have some pretty amazing outcomes. So let me back up and share my story with you briefly. I was born right here in Kalamazoo County. I attended a small rural school way back in 1973. And as I was writing this, I kept thinking, really? Was it 73? 73. It was 73. At that time, my sister and I were the only African American students in the entire school. One day, while working as a room mother, my mom witnessed my sister cleaning while the other children were preparing for reading and snacks. When questioned why, my sister said, "I don't read, Mommy. I get to clean up after the other kids, and I'm really a good cleaner." My mom quickly snatched her up, stormed down the hall to my kindergarten classroom, grabbed me up, and we never set foot in that school again. And if you know anything about my mother, you know. The next thing I know, we were going to a new school that looked a lot like a church. My mom exclaimed, "Well, we're Baptists, we ain't Catholic, but these women are working for God, and they have to do right by Him." When we entered the church school, we saw all these women in long black dresses with long black hanging hats. Mom met with the head long black dress lady in the office. When she came out, Mom was no longer crying, and the head lady that she talked to was now talking to another black dress lady. The lady took a long, deep stare at me and never smiled. I whispered to my sister, "I sure hope that she isn't my new teacher. She looks mean." The next day, I learned that, in fact, that lady was my new teacher, Sister Marceline. She was my new teacher, and Sister Marceline remained my teacher, true story, for the remainder of kindergarten, first grade, second grade, and third grade. While in Sister Marceline's class, she ensured I always had the most work to do. I always had to solve the longest and the hardest problems. I always had the hardest reading assignments. She literally gave me the hardest everything in my third grade mind. I was convinced Sister Marceline did not like me and was going to follow me for the rest of my academic life as my teacher. It was many years later, and after Sister's death, that I realized the focus and investment that Sister made in me. You see, she could not erase my past, but she was determined to set the path for my future. When my sister and I left St. Mary's School and returned to public schools, I tested far above my grade level and was placed in gifted classes through graduation. Sister had truly changed the course of my life forever. We are called today more than ever before to focus on what is possible and what is worthy. We absolutely must turn our attention towards solutions and success. We are called to make an investment in someone who has not started with an equal footing in the world. We must invest our time, our care, and our resources in talented, hardworking people, especially people who have been historically overlooked, marginalized, and underserved. I hope you will join me in what I am calling the Sister Marceline Challenge. Find one young woman and help her reach her potential. That's it. You don't have to be a nun or a saint. Just focus on the good and invest your time and resources. I am standing here today to show you that it works. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I am so honored.
I don't have Pam's. I don't have it. It's not in there. I would like to introduce our next presenter. She must be really big since the paper wasn't in here. Pam Jenselan, partner, Warner Norcross and Judd, and MWF board member. For decades, Pam has dedicated herself to provide service and better the lives of underserved and minority populations. Pam is a passionate supporter of the arts community in Kalamazoo, serving on the board of directors for Kalamazoo Symphony Orchestra, the Stolberg International String Competition, and Western Michigan University Theater Guild. Please welcome Pam.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I have to say I'm not getting an award today, but I'm almost a little weepy here, so I apologize listening to everybody else. I'm Pam Jenselan. I'm the immediate past chair of the Board of Directors of Michigan Women Forward, and I'm thrilled to be here today to celebrate these amazing women and also to talk to you a little bit about what MWF means to me personally. I have been fortunate in my life to have known more than one superhero. Cathy Varigard just mentioned one of them, my husband. He adored you. And he thought one of his, I think, most fun activities was to call Cathy and give her unsolicited advice on how to run the athletic department at Western. We lost another superhero recently, one of the best, Ruth Ginsburg. This was a woman who, after graduating at the top of her class from Harvard and Columbia Law, could not find a job practicing law, nor could she get a job working for the government, all because she was a woman and she was a mother. She persevered and ultimately became the second woman appointed to the United States Supreme Court. Along the way, she was steadfast and tireless in her mission to create a world where, as she put it, women can aspire and achieve as equal citizens and daughters are as cherished as sons. I would not be an equity partner in a major law firm but for the notorious RBG and others like her because they opened the door for me. She changed my life and she has changed all of your lives as well. We walk in her shadow, and I believe we all have a duty to carry on her work. To paraphrase Maya Angelou, she existed. We can be and be better, for she existed. That is what MWF means to me. This organization is carrying on that work and in the process providing equal opportunities and making life better for women and girls throughout the state of Michigan. I hope you will support our work. And now, before I introduce our next honoree, let's take a quick look on the screen at how we are doing with funding MWF's mission. And don't forget, all of your donations are doubled today and for the rest of the week, thanks to the generosity of Zhang Financial. So please remember to text MIWF to 55651. We're about halfway, almost halfway there, so please consider making a donation. And now it is my distinct pleasure to introduce our next honoree, my friend Judy Jolliffe. It is said that the purpose of art is washing the dust of daily life off our souls. As described by Plato, the arts gives a soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and life to everyone. I just love that. Judy Jolliffe knows this and has contributed in enormous ways to the arts in Kalamazoo. After a 30-year career at IBM, Judy has spent her so-called retirement working tirelessly to support all manner of arts in this community, so much so that there is a theater named after her in the Epic Center. She has not stopped with the arts, however, and has also made meaningful contributions in the areas of healthcare, homelessness, mental health, Kalamazoo community development, and in so many other ways. I got to know Judy in my role as the president of the Kalamazoo Symphony Orchestra Board when Judy and Dan Guston agreed graciously to become interim executive directors. It was a true pleasure working with and learning from both of them. Judy's a hero and a role model to so many, including me. Now let's watch a short video about Judy. Judy Jolliffe is really extraordinary, and the way that I think she helps level the playing field and empower women is simply by doing what she does and being the influence in the community that she is.
She is a quiet leader. She's a consensus builder, and she really cares about this community. She was born and raised here, and she loves this community, and she would do anything for it.
I've known her, for 30 years now. She's totally consistent. I think that's part of what's amazing about her is she's always on it. She does what she says she's going to do. She brings people along and she gets it done.
Judy is passionate about many things, but most importantly, in my experience with her, she's very, very passionate about making things better, making things work, and then making them work better in our community. And I think that's the highest praise I can give her.
Judy's there if somebody needs her assistance in keeping their organization on an even keel, and I think that's inspiring for all of us.
She makes relationships, keeps relationships, and then when the situation calls for it, when she is leading, which she often is, she will pull together the people who can make it happen. Whether they know each other or not, they all know her. So they trust her, and she just gets it. She gets it done. That's all I can say.
She's special to me because when I became a partner at King Scott, she was my mentor. She was my sounding board, my friend, and it's nice to have a woman friend when you take on roles that you're kind of scared about. So it's very nice. I get emotional.
Judy, congratulations. I think it's wonderful you're getting this award. It is so well deserved. You are an inspiration to me and so many others, and I just wish you well.
Queen, congratulations on yet another well-deserved award. You are amazing, you're inspirational, you're my friend, and just thank you for making such an enormous difference in Kalamazoo and to the world.
So Judy, congratulations on this fine award, and don't forget, there's plenty of projects out there yet that we can take on as challenges. We have 2 going right now, so let's keep going.
Judy, you're just a wonderful person, and I'm so happy I know you and are a part of your life, and enjoy all the times I spend with you. Keep up the good work and retire.
Please welcome Judy Jolliffe, 2020 Women of Achievement and Courage honoree.
Honest, I didn't pay him a cent. But aren't I blessed to have such lovely friends and colleagues that I've met because of my involvement? Isn't it interesting that today all recipients were born and raised in Kalamazoo, and we still choose to remain here to help and hopefully make a difference? I want to thank MWF and the Lynx for nominating me, and all of my friends that are here with me on TV. When I decided what to talk about today, it was suggested I talk about how I went from the corporate world to the nonprofit. In many ways, it was easy. I just said yes. And as Dan said, I continue to say yes. In 1963, my parents' neighbor arranged an interview for me at IBM, little knowing it would end up being a 30-year career and a husband. Never having a specific career goal, I just wanted a job I enjoyed, like my first job at 13 as a soda jerk at the chocolate shop. That taught me to always be respectful of customers and to forever love ice cream. IBM believes in training and promoting employees, and particularly supporting and promoting women and minorities. I started as a secretary in the typewriter sales force, and cute Larry Jolliffe was one of the salesmen. I moved into several positions, and the one that was most useful for my future was accounts receivable, asking people for money. It certainly helped as I'm doing a little fundraising these days. I also was promoted to administration manager and several other jobs. One of the jobs as administration manager included facility management, which was greatly helpful to me in a couple of projects like the Epic Center and Chunnery. The final position I held at IBM was financial analyst, which meant I prepared expense and revenue projections for our region. IBM obviously gave me excellent skills to transfer to nonprofits. When I started at IBM, IBM transferred in new branch managers on a regular basis. IBM used to be called IBM I've Been Moved. So as they came into the community, we knew they'd be here 2 or 3 years, but the expectation of corporate was if you're in the community, you get involved in the community. One of the managers that transferred in the early 70s really impressed me with his deep commitment to Kalamazoo. He really was involved, and you could tell loved Kalamazoo. So I'm thinking, what am I doing? This is my hometown, and here's a man in town for a couple of years, and he truly is involved. I better say something to him. Well, I did. I said, hey, if you got a little committee or a little something I could help with, I'd be happy to. Little did I know that started 40 years of helping a little bit. First was the United Way Committee, which led several years later to community campaign chair. It was an excellent training ground for learning about nonprofits and other businesses. For the next 20 years, I was active with a number of human service organizations, Big Brothers Big Sisters, Junior Achievement, Bronson Health Foundation, etc., and on and on and on. But in 1992, I was invited to join the Arts Council Board, and it opened a whole new world for me. 2 years after joining the Arts Council Board, I retired from IBM. And for the first couple of months, our house was really clean. My cooking skills improved, did a bit of traveling, planned on working on my golf game when the weather got better. Well, while I was doing that, the Arts Council executive director left, and the board chair decided to contact me, realizing I was just at home, and asked if wouldn't I be the interim director and activate a search committee for permanent director. It was a gray, snowy day, and frankly, I was a bit bored, so I said yes. 2 months later, the board asked me to take the position. Talk about being surprised. I had a couple of good candidates I'd found for them. But I had greatly enjoyed working with local artists, arts organizations, our board, and our staff. And as I thought about it, I said again, yes. Over the next 10 years, the Arts Council started monthly art hops, Sunday concerts in the park, all years radio theater, and then in 1998, 2 arts organizations, Stolberg International Festival and Black Arts and Cultural Center, came to us and asked for our help in finding them office and performance space they could share. From those 2 organizations, the Epic Center was born and still going 20 years later. I retired again in 2004 and am still actively involved, thank you, on boards and have served as several interim positions. My friends keep telling me to learn the word no, but saying yes has made my life so interesting and rewarding. Thank you.
And now I'm going to bring back another superhero, Carolyn Cassin. Well, do women make a difference? I think we saw 3 incredible women who have changed the world here in Kalamazoo, and as did their nominees and their presenters. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Are you still texting to give? Is everybody still out there? Remember that Zhang Financial is matching all donations up until Friday, October 2nd. Friday, October 2nd. You don't have to be here to donate. You don't even have to be in Kalamazoo to donate. You just have to care about women and care about the Michigan Women Forward organization so that we can continue to do this work. Please take time to donate. Share this link with the people you know and help us maximize this match. I guarantee you, if we go over $10,000, I will personally call Lynn, I will show up at her doorstep, and I will get on my hands and knees and ask her to whatever it is that we can give. We're going to make sure that we get a match. So please, please, please continue to donate. It's a great way to double your impact. So this is the end of a very inspiring lunch hour. Thank you to all of those who joined us for our Women Up and Celebrate event. Thank you to the team of people who made this happen. You know, there are only 10 of us in this room, but we make noise like there's about 300, don't we? Right? Especially our co-chairs, Lynn and Carolyn, the committee, the sponsors, the honorees, our incredible staff, Judy, Ellie, Hannah, and Blanca, who are doing all this behind the scenes. It's amazing. And congratulations again to Cathy, Denise, and Judy. You are wonderful. Whether this is your first MWF event or you've attended our luncheons and dinners in person over the years, I hope you walk away from this hour that we've spent together feeling inspired by the work that MWF does. And I know you've been inspired by Cathy, Denise, and Judy. I hope that you know that beside you, you have a sisterhood of women throughout the state who will stand beside you when you need help, who will stand behind you and give you a little bit of a push, and when you need us to pull you forward, we'll be here for you as well. Please remember to sign the guest book so that we know that you were here. We look forward to staying in touch with you and including you in our network. Like us on Facebook and follow us for updates. There are many more exciting things and much, much, much more work to do. We want you to be a part of everything we do. Have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you for coming, and we look forward to seeing you again very soon.